This guy used to kill it. Like he used to.
Was it past?
I know he's killing it now, but like but I mean, you have to imagine a guy who, you don't really know his name, but you just know when he walks into a commercial, auditioning room, you go, oh fuck, that guy.
I don't feel that people thought that about me.
I think they do. Because I've heard other people say, yeah, Stonestreet used to come in and he used to get it, and then you know what I mean.
I hope
and they never get
nice.
There were guys that would go in and never got any.
Yeah.
So imagine going in to 50 of them and then seeing you at half of them, and then you're on half of those that he went out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in his head, he's like, that guy's a beast.
But there were people like that when I moved out here that I would see in every commercial that I would walk in. It took a while for me to get to be considered that guy.
God, you're really humble, are you not?
I am. I think so.
You are.
Yeah.
What were you doing immediately before you got cast on Modern Family?
Commercials, like mostly just commercials. I had done a few guest stars leading up in that year on TV shows where I'd killed a few people. So Bobby knows my dark side.
Yeah. But he also was on movies like Almost Famous. He was in that.
Yeah, I had a small part in that.
Yeah, but you were in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to imagine when I was watching that movie back in the day, I was like, oh, there's Eric. Yeah.
But I was in one of my down, like little funks as an actor right before Modern Family. You know how we go through those things where you're just like, well, what do I do now? And I was literally in one of those, and a friend of mine who I met through Joe Pitka, Marshall Bell. I don't know if you ever worked with Marshall Bell. He's a character actor. Talks like this. He's from Oklahoma. Licks his teeth a lot. And I called him and I was like, dude, he's like, what else you going to do, man? You got traction. You're in the business. You got to stay.
Whoa.
He talked me down off the good ledge.
Wow.
He's like, what else can you do?
Well,
I was like, well, Jesus, I guess when you put it that way.
Yeah.
So, and then the audition for Modern Family happened like within that 4-month window of that period.
And I read that whole audition process was a long one for you, where they kind of didn't know like who they wanted to cast. Is that
God,
true?
your girlfriend's so much smarter than you.
Yeah, she does research.
And she sounds
reads.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now fucking answer it, man.
Fucking Tinder.
Could have been you, baby.
Still might.
Still might. We'll talk about it after.
Hey, now I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll take that fucking stocking cap off.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And all that hair. So yeah, it was because I was one of the last people that they'd cast in the show. They had been looking for a while, and I did 4 auditions for it, which isn't that unusual. But what made my process a little more unusual was that I had done 2 auditions and they had passed, like sent word that like they liked me, but it wasn't going to go any further because I knew the casting director, and so it was a courtesy call for him calling my manager, because as actors we'd love to know when we're no longer in, so we're not sitting at home wondering. So he just called and said, hey, they really liked Eric, but it's not going to go any further. Twice they did that to me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that was what made the process for me a little different.
And then the third time, did you go, I'm not going to go back in, or?
Well, no, then they called out of the blue and said, we'll test you. So then, I went in once, passed, then 7 days passed, and they called back and said, come back in, dress more appropriately for the character, clean shaven, because I would roll around. That's another thing
That's what I loved about you.
Yeah, I would never like
dirty
play the
Right.
game of doctor's coat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like
They dress up, actors dress up. I never did that.
I used to get, when I first moved into town, like only Asian ones, so I'd go into a lobby and it's all people in ninja suits.
Yeah.
And samurai swords.
Oh,
and I would
God.
dress like this.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm not going to get this.
I knew it was time for me to start thinking about getting out of the commercial business when I went over to an audition in Santa Monica, and that called for a guy in a suit and tie, and I showed up, just in like a nice shirt and jeans.
Yeah.
But I wasn't looking like a slob, and the guy was like, oh, what are you here for? And I said, Sears. He's like, where's your suit and tie? And I said, oh, do they have the set built in there too? He's like, what? And I said, did they build the set? Is the set in there?
Yeah. Did they have no imagination?
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to back away. I'm losing. This 12 years of this has caught up to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just doing commercials, and I remember distinctly shooting the pilot and listening to all my co-stars talking about their careers and the things that they had, and that includes the kids on the show. And everyone had something that they were either going to do if the show didn't get picked up, or that they had turned down to do the show. Like Julie Bowen was in second position on another pilot. Ty Burrell was in second position on another pilot. Sofia Vergara had a holding deal at ABC. Jesse Tyler Ferguson was going to go to Broadway and play Buddy the Elf in the musical Elf. Ariel Winter, who's a brilliant actress, she had something that she was going to do. Rico was like killing it, doing his own thing. Everybody had something going on, and I really remember sitting there thinking, I have a Lowe's callback.
Lowe's
Third
I love
position.
Lowe's.
Yeah. But that was my career up in to that point, and I think I represented so many actors to that point. I was the guy I was the least known adult for sure. Maybe Ariel and Sarah Hyland were more recognizable. I mean, they'd worked more than I had, almost probably, and that's
Yeah, but can I just say this? The argument is this, though. I don't. You said all those names. I don't know who they are.
But you don't watch the show.
It doesn't matter.
Wait a minute. What?
No, I don't. I've never seen it.
You've never seen Modern Family?
Fuck it.
He's trying to agree.
Fuck it. I know it's good. Fuck it.
Is it too hard for you?
I've seen clippets. I saw one time you did that thing where you reached the baby up and you did a Lion King thing.
That was supposed to be you.
You went up for that?
I know.
Bobby went up for it.
I saw that.
Passed on him twice.
No, I saw that. You know how because I fly coach. And I had one of those little TV screens, and somebody was next to me seeing that part, and them laughing. And I go, I want to say, that's my friend. You know what I mean? But I didn't. But I laughed because the way you did it was funny, and that's all I need to see. But when I'm going to say this.
He has a hard time watching any
myself
friends.
either. I can't see anybody.
Well, not even yourself, but your friends. You just can't do it.
Okay.
But can I just say this?
Sure.
Is that I don't know who they are. That's fine. I know the guy from Married with Children. He's in it.
Ted Bundy's a murderer, serial
yeah.
killer.
Right. But Ike and I and people that were in the comedy business, right, know who you are, and we think that I always thought that you were legit.
Yeah.
And that's what I give a fuck about.
Yeah. Well,
it's like when one time I was at Barnes and Noble, and this is before I met you, sweetie. I was with this girl on a shitty date.
Yeah.
And Chris Rock walked up and said, "What's up, dude?" and gave me a hug. And I don't care about if the Variety, knows me or whatever. I just care that dude who's in the same business as I am respects me or knows who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather have that.